Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mount Carmel Area High School Stadium, the Silver Bowl, where tonight the Red Tornadoes will entertain the Dunmore Bucks in an Eastern Conference semifinal game. The Bucks, no stranger to the Red Tornadoes, have had two tremendous football games with them back in the 70s early, where they beat them for the Eastern Conference Championship, and then later into the 90s where we lost up there in a snowstorm, Wayne, if you remember it right. Up in Dunmore, we lost by a touchdown up there in what was then the district or the state playoffs. We know Jack Hensies. We played with him most recently in that rain game up in Wilkes-Barre where it poured rain, and he chose to play that game, and we blanked them 22-0. This is going to be an exciting football game. Both teams probably wishing they were in districts rather than here. Both teams barely missing the district playoff field. Kind of mirror seasons for both of these teams. I know the Dunmore Bucks lost. All four losses are to the four teams that win in the districts. So
yes.
they can safely say they were beaten by teams that were better. The Red Tornadoes, all quality losses, if you can call a loss quality to quality teams. And both teams here tonight. I said Jack Hensies, one of the all-time long-running coaches at a school. He's been there for nearly forever. And now we're going to go down to the field and have Phil give you the starting lineups.
Tailback, number 80, a 6'1", 215-pound senior, Rick Loftus. At quarterback, number 1, a 6'2", 180-pound senior, Dan Lavelle. At tailback, number 25, a 5'10", 165-pound junior, Jim Ross. At slotback, number 35, a 6'1", 205-pound senior, Jason Cup. And at fullback, number 45, a 5'9", 160-pound junior, Tony DeMuro, and the rest of the Dunmore Bucks. The head coach of Dunmore, Jack Hensies, assistants, Bill Angeles, Tom Hopkins, Tim Hopkins, Mike DeSando, Peter Cordelli, Bill Fox, and Ed Petrowski. And now the starting offensive lineup for the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel area. Split end, number 1, a 6'1", 190-pound senior, Matt McDowell. At left tackle, number 79, a 6'5", 265-pound sophomore, John Skinner. At left guard, number 69, a 5'11", 215-pound senior, Nick Cox. At center, number 54, a 5'11", 210-pound junior, Randy Swank. At right guard, number 71, a 6', 235-pound sophomore, Marshall Meraki. At right tackle, number 59, a 6'2", 260-pound senior, Nick Pearson. At tight end, number 6, a 6'1", 220-pound senior, Vince Kusenchak. At quarterback, number 8, a 6'4", 200-pound junior, Dave Kinsky. At tailback, number 42, a 5'8", 165-pound senior, Jared Kowalski. At slotback, number 21, a 5'11", 185-pound junior, Steve Matsura. And at fullback, number 45, a 5'9", 180-pound junior, Mike Lisinski. To the head coach of the Red Tornadoes, Mike Barron, and the rest of the Red Tornadoes.
There you have the announcements of the two sides as we read down the assistant coaches. We're here tonight. Of course, I have my pal Wayne with me, but I also want to say that coming off his big fourth quarter at Cities Grove last week, we have Joe McGinley with us. So Wayne, we must have treated him pretty well if he decided to come back with us for another game.
Well, it's the extra money that he's given us that we're bringing him back. You know, that $5 does mean a lot now, Warren. You know that.
Went a long way, didn't it?
Oh, it certainly did.
Seriously, we're glad to have Joe along with us. Joe will be providing some color and insights into this game as he did in the last part of the Cities Grove game. We're getting ready to get this thing going as the captains will go out to midfield. The last time we met the Bucks, as I said, was in a pouring rainstorm. It was absolutely horrendous rainstorm. Coach Henzies figured it was to his advantage. He brought into that game a guy named Brent Triccolo. Triccolo had run for over 2,000 yards in that year, and he was certainly a force to be reckoned with. He gained about 39 yards, I believe it was, all told in that game.
I remember up there. And Jose was up. Jose, in fact, it rained that
booth,
hard.
yeah,
Jose was up in that little tiny room with us, and it was like a sauna actually. But it was just unbelievable that he would actually have the game, although it was his call, you know, all the way. That he would actually have a game in such conditions. Again, you talk about Triccolo. They come in tonight with junior Jim Ross. Although not the size of what Triccolo was. This kid here, Jim, is running at about 165 pounds, 5'10", but he has gained over 1,600 yards, you know, up there in that Central Division that they run out of.
Yeah, much the same offense, Wayne. One thing about Henzies is he's going to line up in an I formation. He's going to throw the tailback at you. You beat the tailback. You're going to occasionally see the fullback. That's DeMuro.
Right.
DeMuro's a tough, rangy kid, but not a real threat as far as breaking the ball too much. Ross is the go-to guy. Ross will get the ball the most, guys. And what we look at there is you don't push him out of his game plan much. Coach Henzies stays in that I. Now, they pass, and really they pass 5 or 6 times a game, apparently. Now, whether they do more tonight or not will depend on, I guess, what they see from us defensively. But they're not a prolific passing team, and they're not comfortable. It's not something they like to do a lot of. So we fully expect them to stay in an I formation and pretty much run the ball, Joe, the way it looks.
If you remember the last game that was up at Wilkes-Barre Stadium, it was 2 different factors than what we are playing tonight against the Bucks. Different head coach for Mount Carmel, which would be Mike Brennan, and also that game was played on turf.
Right, it was an AstroTurf stadium, which is one of the reasons Henzies at that time figured he could play even though it had rained so hard. The field did hold up pretty well, but towards the end it was a pond. If you remember, by that time the game was at a ridge. The Dunmore Bucks in that game at least never threatened to score, never in the entire game. Triccolo completely bottled up by a really tough defense from Mount Carmel area on their way to the state finals. So this will be an interesting matchup here. Of course, Coach Brennan has never seen Henzies before. We have a longer history with the Bucks than of course, Coach does. We're going to see the same thing from Mount Carmel area. Don't expect to see a whole lot different from us. We're going to run everybody. Jared Pilarski, we want to keep an eye on Jared Pilarski tonight. He's one of the guys we're going to keep an eye on. He has a chance to run for 1,000 yards this season, and we're going to surprise you a little bit with that, and then there's only been 13 people who did it before him at Mount Carmel.
You know
and that's a shocking stat.
Jose had told us that before the game, and you know, taking a look at the names that have gone by us, that have run by us from that tailback position, and you know, did not run for 1,000 yards. Boy, it just boggles your mind. Maybe it's because of the age and we're getting a little bit older. We sort of forget these things. But I'll tell you why. When we watched the names that he gave us and those players, we were just astonished about how well they were playing at that point in time, and never realizing that they were not hitting that 1,000-yard mark.
Chris Phillips, number 17, tees it up for the Bucks, and he'll let it loose. And he shoots it down, and it looks like it's going to go out of bounds, and it does. And that'll put the ball up at the 35-yard line where the Red Tornadoes will take over 1st and 10 in the first offensive series of this game. But you're right, and what makes it a little bit funny, I think, is because we saw the 2 Veaches through the 90s who were doing it. They're 2 of the 13 who did it. And it makes you think there was much more, but it also emphasizes where Pilarski is. If Pilarski can crack that either tonight or next week, if we play next week, that's quite an accomplishment. It'll make him number 14 and truly a storied history of offensive performance at Mount Carmel here. So,
and especially taking the field this year as the lead tailback, coming on as a single season.
Shinsky lines him up. He's got Brown in the backfield, and there's going to be a flag in the play instantly as Pilarski made the turn, and he was going to come in motion across Shinsky, and I believe that'll go against the Red Tornadoes, and it does. It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Something Mount Carmel doesn't need. You know, first possession penalties, they'll kill you. We saw that last week.
Well, and that's a good point. Mount Carmel certainly had a rash of penalties in its first half of the season, which was devastating. It did clean them up a lot in the last half of the season where it started to play really disciplined football. To start the game off with a penalty is not the way you want to start, but we run the exact same play, and it goes to Brown, and Brown's going to pound it up to the 39-yard or to the 34-yard line where it's going to be 2nd down and 11.
Brown carrying it to the right side of the field that time over 69 Nick Cuff and 59 Nick Bierster, and of course the tight end over there, number 6, Yusenchak. Again, you know, some excellent blocking on that side and hard running by Brown.
This time we'll come out here on 2nd down with Pilarski, the lone back. And I'm sorry, that was Shinsky was the lone back. Pilarski on a slash play. Pilarski takes it up to the 43-yard line.
Some hard running on that play by Pilarski. He could have been stopped back at the 35, but he just kept kicking them legs, and he made it up for another yard or 2.
3rd and 7 now for the Red Tornadoes, as Brown now back into the lineup, and he brings the play in with him. All right, we'll put the fullback back in the lone back. That's his 3rd play in a row. The fullback's been the lone back in the backfield. This time Matsura goes in motion. And Shinsky's looking to pass, and he has his man. It's Matsura, and Matsura will bring the 1st down, and then a couple of yards. He crosses over the 45 to the 46-yard line where it's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, Matsura knowing exactly where that yard marker was at the whole time. If you take a look at the replay, he catches the ball on about the 9-yard line. Has to pick up an extra yard, but it was a nice hook pass. He makes a turn to the outside, picks up the 1st down, and kills the clock stepping out of bounds.
Okay, we're in a full I formation now. This is going to go to Lashinsky, and Lashinsky right up the middle. He'll pick up 2 yards in the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
It's a good thing for Coach Brennan to be doing tonight, mixing up the passing and running game and putting different backs in the backfield and keeping people in motion. Keep that Dunmore defense on their feet.
The team, the guy to look at on that Dunmore defense, and there are a couple of them, but the guy that's going to stand out there is going to be Ruddy, number 53, and I believe there's been a Ruddy on the Dunmore team since the 60s. I don't think you ever played Dunmore without one Ruddy on the team somewhere, but 53 in there, he's the guy you want to pay attention. He's the big man on defense. This time we give it to Pilarski, and he's going to try to get outside, and he's not going to do it. And he's going to be, there's a flag on the play right at the point of the tackle.
That's got to be, I would say it's a face mask because they had two guys right on Pilarski. And it's holding by the Tornadoes.
So a big penalty against the Red Tornadoes, and that will not hurt as bad since it was a loss to begin with. So we'll nullify the loss, and the Bucks are going to decline it. And it's going to bring up now, as they look at the scoreboard, deciding where we would have ended up at as we only lost a couple yards in the play, but it's going to be 3rd and 8 now for the Red Tornadoes. I probably would have taken that penalty, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure why they declined that. So 3rd down and 8 now. Ball at the Red Tornado 46-yard line. That is an odd call, to tell you the truth. I'm not too sure why they did that.
Because the ball would have been back around the 36-yard line.
Shinsky in the shotgun. And he's rushed heavily from the side, but he's got Matsura. Ooh! Just had Matsura on the wrong shoulder there as Matsura had to turn sideways and just couldn't bring it in. A nice pass, though. He was rushed heavily by number 82 there. They sent Rick Serenian from that end position and put some pressure on him, but the Red Tornadoes will be in a punt situation here as Shinsky will go back.
You know, even last week as we took a look at some of the pass plays, that on the weak side, you know, there's nobody picking up that defensive end coming in on Dave's backside.
So it's going to bounce in front of Ross, and it's going to roll down to about the 22-yard line where the Red Tornadoes down it. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Dunmore Bucks, their first offensive series here of the evening in this Eastern Conference AA matchup.
We'll see number 32, Ben Inoski, coming in. And it's the first time, I guess, that since the Southern game that we've seen Ben without a cast on his hand.
And that's good news. It's good news to see Ben, and it's a tribute to how tough he is. And there was no question how tough he was to begin with, but it's good to see him make it back into the lineup here before the end of the season. So number 1, Lavelle will bring him up. He's got DeMuro at that fullback spot in Ross, and he goes right to Ross. Ross, as I said, the go-to guy. Ross is in trouble there, but he's going to pick up a few yards as he cuts back. Cuff that time, made a nice play to turn everything, but Ross could not get around him. He picks up 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Cuffy did a great job there. He took on the lead blocker, he took on the pulling guard, everything. Had 3 guys in front of him and still contained to the inside.
And that's pretty much what you're going to see a lot of all night. I mean, I'm not going to fool you with this. He's going to go to 25 a lot. 25 now, the lone back behind Lavelle. And Lavelle keeps it, and he's going to pass. He's looking downfield down there. He was trying to hit number 35, Jason Cuff, to split and their flanker back, depending where he lines up at, but threw it out of bounds. It'll bring up 3rd and 8 now for the Bucks. And again, it kind of emphasizes, Joe, in that the Bucks are just not a real comfortable passing team.
Right. With the size of their running backs in the backfield, they're huge. You know, that would be the best thing for them to do.
Yep. And they go with their strength. That's what Hensey's has been doing. I think they said Hensey's been coaching for 30-some years now, I believe.
35, I think
35,
it was.
so I think he knows all there is to know.
See a flag thrown on the play.
Flag on the play, and I think it's the Red Tornadoes. I'm not sure if the Bucks.
Yeah, I think
because it's that call that I still don't believe should exist. I do not understand why you can't move around the line of scrimmage. I'm sorry.
No, you can move around on the line of scrimmage defensively, but you can't get inside the zone.
As long as you get back for the snap, I don't understand. I don't like it, and I'm going to push to have it revoked.
Okay, we'll write our letters to the PIAA.
5-yard penalty. It'll bring up 3rd and 3 now for the Bucks. A much better position for them to be in. Ball down at the just inside the 30-yard line.
You think that letter's going to make a difference?
No, but I'll write it anyway. 8:25 remaining. We go right to Ross. And Ross is going to, he loses yardage. Jim Ross will lose it. So on a 3rd and 3, the Red Tornadoes stand up there. There's Matsura and a whole group of them coming off of there.
Matsura was the one, he was actually blocked onto the ground, and he reached up and made the tackle from down on the ground with somebody on top of him. I mean, and that's been his play all season long, just like that. He's just been tenacious.
So the Bucks, even with a 5-yard penalty, still do not pick the 1st down. Up number 14, Mancuso, back to punt.
Now let's see what Cuff does.
He gave it a hoot.
Yes, he did.
This is going to be Letcavich, number 2, as he tries to turn upfield. Loses his footing right at the 35-yard line, and he falls forward, and he'll be down at the 39 where it's 1st and 10.
Letcavich is a sophomore at the high school, and just looking at the things he's been doing this year.
He's a freshman, Joe.
Oh, he's a freshman.
Drew is a freshman, absolutely, yeah.
It's absolutely amazing to see what he's been doing, especially on defense, how he's been helping us out defensively.
Yep, he has a bright future, that guy, for us. We've been talking about him a lot this year. And he was hurt in the beginning of the season. He had some back problems, which is why we didn't see much of him in the very beginning, but he looks full strength now. Fumble on the play as it pops out of Shinsky's hand. He'll end up losing about 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down now, and about 12.
Notice there's a lot of mistakes being made tonight by both the offenses, getting tripped up at the line, dropping the ball.
Red Tornadoes do look a little jittery here, and that's the first time I saw a ball when you're under the center move ball so far away from them.
Yeah, Dave was just stepping back a little bit quick, a little anxious to get the play going, and you know, as soon as you make that move backwards, your hands are out from underneath the center.
So he'll step back under center now. At first it looked like a shotgun, but it's not. He puts Wargo in motion, and he's back to pass. And he looks for Medalis, and just high as Ross on the coverage. And I will say for the Bucks, they're the first team this year that I see as we go in motion. Notice how that defense shifts.
Everything shifts over to the strong side. You're right. I'll tell you what, they're having some. They're putting a lot of defense coverage back there. They have an umbrella type coverage for all the receivers. Dave has a lot of time to throw the ball, to look over all the receivers. But I'll tell you what, they're getting some good defensive coverage.
3rd and a long 11, 3rd and 12. I'll just say 12 from where it's at as they line up in shotgun for Shinsky. And number 82 again with a lot of pressure. And this time he's got Pilarski free, and Pilarski's loose. He got behind number 14 down there. He got behind Mancuso, and Pilarski goes in for the score for the Red Tornadoes. That's a 62-yard pass play. Shinsky to Pilarski, and the Red Tornadoes are on the board at the 6:38 mark of the first quarter.
What a pass by Dave Shinsky, stepping back, and again we had pressure from the defensive end coming from the left-hand side. Dave stayed in there. Take a look at the catch by Pilarski. Some great camera work by on the field camera down there, but I'll tell you what, reaching up like that, and Dave put it right on the mark for him.
Kick is good. That'll bring
Kick is no good. The kick is no good on that one, as Whitecamp doesn't get it through, so the score remains 6-0 at the 6:38 mark. And I'll tell you something, I'll give you a hint. Never call the kick ahead of time. I have learned that to my eternal sorrow over the last few years. Never call it till you see what they say, because it always looks good to me and it never looks good to them. So at the 6:38 mark here of the first quarter, it is Mount Carmel area 6, the Dunmore Bucks 0. Mount Carmel ready to get kicking off here, and a big pass play. And really, Shinsky has come into his own in the past 4, 5, 6 weeks here. He's really showing something. And Pilarski, you can see, as soon as Pilarski took the step on Mancuso, it was over. There's no way Mancuso was catching Pilarski as he took it into the end zone.
Great pass pattern run by Pilarski, but I'll tell you what, you take a look at the distance that ball traveled, and Dave puts it right on the money with the amount of pressure that he was under from that defensive end. I'll tell you, Dave, you are right. Since the North Schuylkill game, Dave has come into his own.
Whitecamp gets ready, and he's down there. He's going to kick to Ross and or Cuff. He drops it on the ground in front of Ross, and Ross is going to pick it up. Now he touched it, so it's live at the 10 now, and right up the sideline. And it's going to take Whitecamp, and Whitecamp, the kicker, pops them out. Right at the 32-yard line where it's 1st and 10 Bucks. But Whitecamp may have saved the touchdown as that bobble down there caused him to move up the sideline very quickly.
Yeah, there was nobody else there, and I'll tell you what, that's a dream of a kicker to make a tackle like that out of bounds.
Well, you know what? Not only was it a tackle, though, that was a hit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yes,
he hit
that
him.
was.
Yeah, you're right. Kickers love to hit.
They love it.
Lavelle brings him up. He's got Ross in the backfield, and he's going to pitch it to Ross.
Ooh.
And it got behind Ross. Ross is still bobbling the ball around, and I'm not sure who picked it up here. I believe it.
Tornado.
The Red Tornadoes have recovered the fumble, and I didn't see who it was. Maybe Buggy.
Buggy was 29 was the one that came up with the ball.
So the Bucks shoot themselves in the foot here early here now in the first quarter. Red Tornadoes recover the ball, and the ball be set down at the Buck 28-yard line.
See the replay right there. Buggy got it.
Shinsky will bring him up. Split backfield now. He's got Brown and Matsura back there. And the penalty flag, a whistle blows immediately. That'll go against the Red Tornadoes.
I think every offensive possession by the Tornadoes, there's been a flag called on them.
I have to agree. You're absolutely right. We have not touched the ball yet without seeing a yellow flag at some point hit the ground. It'll be 5 yards. It'll bring it 1st and 15 now, and now the ball out to the 33-yard line.
Mount Carmel couldn't ask for a better thing to happen to them right now than to get that fumble recovery, get them up on the scoreboard, get them up by 2 touchdowns. That's great for them.
Oh, yeah. Best score here would be big. You're right. Shinsky goes right back to pass now. Great protection. He was looking at Medalis, but Ruddy, number 53, the guy I told you about, stepped in front of it and deflected it and went right past Medalis before he could get a hand on it.
I'll tell you what, Medalis was standing down there with nobody around him. About the only defender was about another 5 yards, standing on about the 5-yard line. And, Medalis is running again. He's another one that just came back at the North Schuylkill game and doing some great offensive patterns here.
2nd and 15 still for the Red Tornadoes. He's the eye backfield. He goes back to pass. There's a blitz coming over, and he gets it over to Matsura, who has a screenplay going, and Matsura's got some room.
Oh, and he's got the speed.
Oh, he's still going, and Matsura will put it down at the 1-yard line. I don't know how he didn't put it in there, but the 1-yard line, that, folks, was a screen pass. Shinsky to Matsura, but all Matsura as soon as he caught the ball. Watch the replay.
The ball is actually tipped. by the defensive the defensive end there. And Matsur gets the ball, and look at this. He breaks at least 3 or 4 tackles going all the way down. I think he tried to dive for the end zone and just didn't quite have enough to go.
Oh, he was close. He's inside the 1 now as we put the big backfield in there. And we go to it, and he keeps it on a pass play. And he's still rolling there, and he's going to throw it into the end zone and wisely throws it out of the way.
Way to go,
Dave. That fooled even me on that one as Shinsky makes a good play on what I believe is a broken play, yeah. I'm guessing here.
It looked like it was supposed to be a straight dive play.
Somebody didn't.
Or normal. I don't know what happened there. It looked like we set up the power dive, and
somebody definitely didn't take the handoff.
Right.
Lashinsky goes in for Brown. Brown comes out, and I think Brown might have been the guy who was supposed to get the ball. So
but I'll tell you what,
we'll do this again.
Heads up play by Dave Shinsky to throw the ball, into the ground like that.
That's a
touchdown. And that's Lashinsky, the other fullback, who I think ran the exact play that was supposed to be the first down play and didn't work. So now at the 5:50 mark here in the first quarter, it is Mount Carmel area 12 and the Bucks of Dunmore 0. Whitecamp will come in to tee it up. And are you going to make another call here, or are you going to wait? What do you think?
I'll wait.
I'll wait. You're a good man.
No, I think we're going for 2 here, guys. We're putting it on the right hash mark, and we're going to bring Jasenchuk out. We put Warhudge in, number 27, I guess. Some hands. We're getting some hands.
We're also looking around like, do we have everybody who's supposed to be in there in? That was the other question there. Everybody's kind of looking at each other, but they look like they are as they line up in a split backfield behind Shinsky as he goes for the 2-point conversion. It's a pass, and he's under heavy pressure, and he'll be brought down. The 2-point play will fail. And I'm not sure if I would have done that. I mean, again, it's easy to second guess, but I think I would have just kicked it at the rate we're handling the Bucks right now. But either way, it leaves the score at 12-0 Red Tornadoes at the 5:50 mark. And the Bucks will receive, and the Bucks need to get some offense going because so far, guys, they have done nothing on offense.
Mount Carmel sidelines can't be complaining. They're up by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what you want to do, get up early, and you pretty much will have your way. And again, the Bucks, the one thing the Bucks are not is a team that's going to catch up from a big deficit. They're not going to come back on you just by virtue of the kind of offense they run. So they do not want to follow into a hole very early because it'll be extremely difficult for them to crawl back out of it.
Well, the other thing is, too, is the size of their running backs. Ross is only 165 pounds, and who is it, Mancuso? Who's their
DeMuro is the fullback.
DeMuro is their fullback, and he's even smaller. He's only 160 pounds. So you're not talking about much weight back there that's going to pound you and pick up some of that yardage that they really need.
This time he puts it down the middle, and it'll be Ross once again as Ross comes to the Mount Carmel sideline where he had some success, but that's the end of his success right there. Number 45, Lashinsky, making the hard hit on Ross, and the Bucks will have the ball at their own 32-yard line, 1st and 10. Here you see the replay as Ross trying to pick his spot there. He's moving to the sideline, but you're seeing Lashinsky, and there's Lashinsky saying no. He's just standing stock still and nails him and brings him down. So Lavelle will bring him up. He's going to start him off in an I formation here as we have a timeout on the field by the umpire who sees something laying around there, the kicking tee. We forgot that, so we'll throw the kicking tee off. And now Lavelle will line himself up, and he's got DeMuro in front of Ross. And this time he goes to the fullback, and the fullback is loose. Dallas will bring him down, but DeMuro on a big play picks up the first down and more as he takes it up to the Buck 49-yard line. 1st and 10 Bucks.
He fired right up that gap. It's tough to even follow him.
You don't see that fullback a whole lot, but like us, when you do see him, he's usually in a big hole, and he had a big one there.
It was quick and caught us into a gap there. We were doing a little stunt, and it was just a good play that was called. Caught everybody off guard a little bit and opened up a natural hole for him.
This time we go to Ross, and Ross will be brought down for no gain, really, very, very little gain, if any. He'll bring up a 2nd down, and we'll give him 1 and call it 9.
Appears that Mount Carmel's defense is starting to step it up. For the first couple possessions by Dunmore, they weren't really doing that great. It just seemed like there was a couple mental and physical mistakes that were made. Not really that the defense was doing anything that great, but you see that they're
Lavelle keeps it, and he's in trouble. He's trying to screen it out there to Cuff. It's not really a screen. It was just a flat pass because nobody else was out there. But Cuff will get very close to the first down. He's in Mount Carmel area territory, just inside the 45-yard line. It's going to bring up third down, I guess, and let me see where you're third down and 2.
You can tell they looked at the films. We saw that play.
Same thing Lawver did,
a number of times last week. It's just a delayed sit back. You block the defensive end coming in and release out into the flat.
No, each time Lawver did it, it was a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only difference in it. Now, this is an odd offensive formation here, but again, we go right to Ross, and Ross will pick the first down up as he carries it down to the Mount Carmel area 40-yard line where it's 1st and 10 for the Bucks, and the Bucks showing some offense here in the late going of the first quarter.
Great play. I'll tell you what, strange formation, but you actually get all your blockers right up at the line of scrimmage. They needed that 1 yard there to pick up the first down, and with the surge, the line surge, they picked up a few extra.
Trying to see who had the ball that time. Was it the fullback?
It was the tailback.
Was it Ross? Are you sure? No, number 34. That's Corey Mead. It was a different guy. So that's what threw me off there. So Mead comes in and picks up 4 yards, 2nd down and 6. He replaced Ross back there. I never saw him leave the game. Now we go to a split backfield. And we go to Ross as Ross tries to come around the end, and he does. And the Bucks now having much more success offensively against the Red Tornado defense as he will see where they place
flag
the
on the play. There's holding.
He was very close to the first down where he placed it.
Actually, he had it by 3 yards. He had the first down by 3 yards.
What line are we on there? What am I like? Having like
We're coming
vertigo
back.
Or what? What happened there? What the heck's going on?
You're still trying to catch up
missed
to
that line completely there.
You're trying to catch up to the halfback that was off the field.
Well, you know what I think? One thing I wanted to talk about was I want to talk to Dave about this. I think we should have that yellow first down line, too, like they do in ESPN. What do you think, Joe?
We could try it.
All right, I'm counting on you to bring that on. Next year, I want to have that yellow line and make it a heck of a lot easier for me to tell where everybody is.
Just get out a yellow highlighter and put it on the film.
2nd now and 16 for the Bucks. And we give it to DeMuro, and DeMuro again loose in there. I'm sorry, 34 loose in there, Mead. As Mead is now coming in for both DeMuro and Ross in and out of the backfield.
He got nailed by Vince back there, and what a great hit. He tripped over number 41, Pete Kulik, and Vince just nailed him.
So he puts the ball just outside the Red Tornado 40-yard line where it's 3rd and 10, almost an exact original line of scrimmage as they line up now they're going to have a 2-man shift the other way. I like that when a lot of guys are moving around like that. a lot of things happening there. That pass is complete. Not enough for the first down, but Lavelle found number 35, Cuff. And he'll be short of that first down by 2 yards or so. It'll bring up 3rd and 2. And for a team that we said didn't pass a whole lot, it does. 3rd and 3 when they place it down. So a little success in the passing game for the Bucks.
I thought Joe was playing with my mind there when he said number 41, Pete Kulik. I'm thinking, wait, no, that's not number 41, Pete Kulik. That's Leonovich.
Right up the middle, and he's loose. Ooh. And that's number 34, Mead. And you know, Mead during we haven't even heard Mead. Nope. We hear his name last night at Supper Club, and Mead during the bulk of the ball carrying here for the Bucks as he takes it down to the Red Tornado 21-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 Bucks.
Well, that's what happens when you start looking at some of the scouting reports and you see Ross is running for 1,600 yards, and you want to sort of key on him, and now all of a sudden Mead comes in and he's opening, they're opening up some holes and he's getting through. Oh!
Now, it's going to be a 5-yard penalty on the Bucks as Ross stepped forward there. But Mead now in the backfield, and he's not there is DeMuro, and DeMuro was the guy we had heard that we would see. Now he trots back in on the penalty. So we'll keep an eye on 34 as he'll be in and out of that backfield apparently. And he goes either way, fullback or tailback. He replaces either one of them.
I'll tell you what, boy, he's doing a good job. He's quick to the hole, and as soon as he gets through the hole, he's putting his shoulder down and making some hits there.
1st and 15 now for the Bucks as Lavelle, number 1, brings them up. right up the middle with number 35 that time. That's Cuff, or I'm sorry, DeMuro, 45, the original fullback. And he picks up 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
I don't know if Coach had seen something on the films, but it seems like they're running a lot in between their offensive guards in this series as they're moving the ball down the field.
He's back to pass.
Oh,
and
nice
it's
interception.
picked off by
Vincent.
Yasenchak. And Yasenchak is still traveling. I don't know if he's out of bounds or not. I thought he went out. He ran into a guy on the sideline who was in the field of play.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to know what the call would be.
That should have been a penalty. He had a guy. He ran in here. Watch him run into a guy who's standing on the sidelines. Right? Oh, you missed it. We missed it. But right past here, he actually runs into a guy standing on the sidelines, keeps his balance, and runs up the field, and he takes it back to the 44-yard line on the interception by Yasenchak, but a very odd play. We haven't seen that happen before.
And actually, it was one of the kids from Dunmore over on the other sideline on crutches.
Lashinsky with the pass, and he takes over midfield down to the Buck 48-yard line. He'll bring up a 2nd and 2. He'll bring 2nd and 2 up. When you look at it the other way, though, the kid probably kept him in bounds.
Oh, he did.
That's probably the good part about it. But you don't see that very often, folks, and you manage to see it here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the first quarter of play here in this Eastern Conference AA semifinal football game with the score Mount Carmel area 12, the Dunmore Bucks 0.
Just wanted to mention something really quick. Mike Lashinsky, number 45, who's the fullback, not exactly the biggest guy on the field, but his numbers this year as a junior are probably great. His brother Rusty, playing a couple of years ago for Mount Carmel, not quite as big as him, but he's probably making about a big of an impression.
Big an impact. He certainly is. He's a good football player. And we actually watched Lashinsky come as the season went. Here's another guy we watched grow a little bit this season, and what you get from him is you got the big fullback and you got him, and you got a real balance there, a real quick, small guy at fullback who's still a devastating blocker. Then you got Brown, the real big guy. So it's a nice tandem to put in and out of there. And then this time we have Brown in there with Pilarski. And Brown goes right up the middle with it, and Brown will take it down to the 40-yard line. That'll be good enough for the 1st down. Be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes in Buck territory at the 45.
Appears that there's a lot of hard hitting down there on the field. Just by the way, those Dunmore Bucks are coming up from behind the line and just come up and nailing people.
No, they're a good football team. They lost 4 games and they were the 4 teams who are in the district playoff now. So they have nothing to hang their head about. Played, I guess, Lakeland last week and played them pretty tough and then ended up losing. So both of these teams come off a losing game last week into this playoff game for the Eastern Conference. Pilarski this time. Pilarski's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Pilarski out there, number 42, he's a senior, and he's one of those guys that ain't exactly the biggest guy in the field, but his numbers this year are great too. Running for almost 1,000 yards and everything, and his season ain't done yet.
Oh no, he's still rolling. This time Matsura on that inside handoff, and Matsura plows it down right to the 35-yard line. He's going to be just short of the 1st down when they place it there. Down at the 36 now where they put the ball. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
That's a play we haven't seen in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Sewer's been very successful on that all season long, the slashback play.
Yeah, he runs that play very well. Kind of the inside Sally, the old inside Sally play. So we're going to leave the big guy in the backfield, Brown. Everybody else split out to the right, and Brown says, that's all right, I'll take it myself. And Brown bulls his way down to the 31-yard line for the 1st down and then some. And the Red Tornadoes once again moving here on offense early in the 2nd quarter of play.
Boy, some very good blocking. Marshall Merarkey, John Skinner, and Vince Yasenchak on that left side with Brown right behind him, picking up 5 yards for the first down.
That's a good call. You know, you put a guy single back there, and you wonder, you know, when you only have a yard to go, why you don't help him out. But you also got them off balance, looking at a 3 wide receiver split.
Oh yeah.
On the right side there. So there's a lot of play calling going on there. Oh, he was trying to get Medalis cutting across the middle of the field, just misses him. We'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. Here you see the replay, and watch the bullet he throws here. He just, let's see.
Right through his arm.
Just got past him there as Medalis looked up. That was a rope, guys.
Yeah, that was.
Sucker was moving when it came at him.
I think Superman would have had a tough time stopping that one.
Shotgun for Shinsky, but he fakes it to he faked it to Pilarski, but number 55, who was coming in on the play hard right up the center down there, Cummings ran into Pilarski as he was getting the fake, and Pilarski couldn't turn around fast enough and block him. So Cummings brings Shinsky down, and there was not a whole lot Pilarski could have done there because he was still a little bit sideways
or
from
Dave.
The fake. Yeah.
There wasn't too much Dave could do either. And in fact, he tried to elude him a little bit and tried to come back towards the bench. It was a pass play. He was trying to look over some receivers.
So a 3-yard loss on the sack of Shinsky, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 13 for the Red Tornadoes. And that's a tough play for Pilarski to be involved in. There's just nothing he can do there to help. This time he's got Matsura and just got too long, as Matsura had beaten Ruddy a little bit to the goal line, but just couldn't bring it in. And that'll bring up 4th down now and 13 for the Red Tornadoes. And the passing offense looks kind of out of joint here for a second or two. Well, 55 again bouncing around that backfield too, wherever he's coming from. 55 is Cummings, and he's
coming from the, I think.
Where's he playing here? He's a linebacker position somewhere there. Let me see where he lines up at. Or is he on the? I don't know where he's lined up. Let me see where he lines up. He's probably not even in the game right now, is he?
Left tackle he's playing.
Okay, he moves around on the line. There he is. Yeah. All right, there he is. Yeah, he's been in the backfield now twice as we go to an I formation on 4th down, and we put Matsura in motion. Shinsky goes back, and again, here comes 55. This time he's got Matsura, and Matsura, he's going to be so close down at the 21-yard line, and I think he got it.
I think he did too.
I think he got the first down. It's real close.
He left the ball there. I'll tell you what, he just dropped the ball. The referee did not move it, didn't bring it back at all. He just left the spot where it was at.
They're gonna They're gonna measure it. They're gonna have to, but I mean, I think he got it.
For 1 second, it looks like the ref is pointing, and then he goes and waves his hands up in the air.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of them thinks the one ref thought he had it, but they're gonna. I mean, I might as well measure it. I mean, heck, it's close, but I just thought he had it from where he placed it. And he does. So they pick up the first down on a 4th and 13 as Matsura with a little bit of extra effort there, and he really bulled his way down to the 21, and the Red Tornadoes remain in business. 1st and 10 deep in Buck territory again.
The key there was as soon as Matsura caught the ball cutting across the center of the field, instead of him continuing on a diagonal, he cut straight up the field and ran towards the goalpost, and that's what actually picked up the first down.
Nice play by Matsura. And again, Matsura, and he cuts through a little sliver in the line, and he goes down over the 15-yard line, or right at the 15. He picks up 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 5 for the Red Tornadoes.
He's just slipping right through that.
That was a nice play. Here you see there's not much of a crack there, but look at him as he fights his way through it. And the key there is he just keeps his feet churning the whole time he's on the field there. And that always brings good things to you.
And again, of course, you're right behind Bierster, Cuff, and Swank, and you know there's a trio again. That whole line, as soon as they put their shoulders together and they decide that they're gonna take over, you know, you're picking up some good yardage.
Matsura again, and he continues to fight for yardage as he takes it down. And we'll see where he finally gets. He's inside the 10 down at the 8-yard line. 1st and goal from the 8. Morgan was in the ball game there for a second for the Red Tornadoes on that play. He was split wide to that left side, but Matsura just pretty much will not be denied here as he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 where it's 1st and goal.
This is where Mount Carmel tends to be its most dangerous in the red zone.
where they line up at here, and they're going to line up in they start off in a traditional I formation. That's sort of the tailback here for the Red Tornadoes. Brown, and Brown's going to gain, I think, 2 yards. I think they'll set him down at the 6. 2 tough yards that time as he's brought down by Ruddy, number 53 in there, the guy I talked to you about earlier. He's the heart of that defense, and he brings Brown down. So it's 2nd and goal now from the 6.
Brownie's big enough to be one of those guys that will be like, I don't need no line, just run me right up through there. I can take them all out.
Let's see where they place that. They're at the 7, not the 6. It's second goal from the 7. Although I thought his forward motion took him to the 6 there, but he got bent around again. So Shinsky brings him up, split formation now, and this time we go to Matsura, and he's got Brown back, and Brown makes a nice block, but number 35 for the Bucks comes in there and makes a great play. That's Jason Cuff as he stops Matsura short of the goal line at the 4. 3rd and goal now for the 4.
Some great lateral pursuit that time because the 2 lead blockers
they had crushed everybody.
Everybody back the way we wanted to run it, but it just takes that one man making a great defensive play, a great lateral pursuit, and didn't let him get around the corner.
So
notice
Notice
this Dunmore defense, just guys coming out of nowhere. Seems like you're doing good, and then Dunmore defender will just go up behind you and take you out.
Fake it to Pilarski. Now Shinsky in trouble, and Shinsky takes it in.
Good move.
Touchdown, Red Tornadoes on a Shinsky 4-yard scamper as he gets in trouble on a pass play, tucks it in, and goes right up the middle. At the 6:34 mark of the 2nd quarter of play, it is now Mount Carmel area 18, the Dunmore Bucks 0. And we'll go for 1 point this time as Whitecamp comes in.
Yeah, you can see the little bit extra maturity here. 1 extra year to these last 6 games.
And Whitecamp is good for the extra point, so the score now 19-0 in favor of the Red Tornadoes.
You can see the maturity in Dave now in these last 6 games. He's really stepped up with his arm, picking out the receivers, and not just one. Since the North Schuylkill game, he's been using 3-4 receivers a game, which is really great, and that's what you want to see, and that's what takes the pressure off of Dave. But in this case here, we've seen in the first quarter as Dave is rolling out on a busted play there that he throws the ball out of bounds, so he's not tackled, down around the 10-yard line. Here's another case, and Dave's looking over all the receivers, and Dunmore had some great coverage in the end zone. Dave tucks the ball in and finds the hole and goes right up through the center.
One of Dave's biggest intangibles, I believe, is his enthusiasm. I have a couple classes with him up at school, and he's just a great guy to be around, funny, and has a lot of enthusiasm, and he looks forward to everything.
Right down the middle it goes this time. It's going to be Ross who picks it up on that bounce. Ross right up the field this time, and he's going to be brought down hard over the 30-yard line at the 32-yard line. You see Ledkavich, one guy getting up. Let me see who else it is there. It's Greco, the other guy, getting off the field. And
Buggy,
somebody's down on the field down there. Number 75, the big guy, Fazio, is down right now on the field for the Bucks as they'll come out and see what happened to him. He was right in the middle of the fray there as Ross went down. And that's 35, not 75. That's 35 down there. That's Cuff. Cuff was the other guy down deep. And Cuff will be a big loss for them if he's not able to return to the game. Cuff was an integral part of that offense down there. So he's kind of ginger, although, I mean, he is walking on it, so that may be a good sign for him. We'll wait and see if he returns to the ball game. The Red Tornadoes have a chance tonight to win 4 meaningful championships for the first time in Red Tornado history. If they can win an Eastern Conference championship, of course, last year a state championship, the year before that a district championship, and the year before that a state championship. First time in history that could happen if the Red Tornadoes get through this game and again next game. If they do play next game, if it's Central Columbia, we play there. Central Columbia just this side of Berwick, between Bloomsburg and Berwick.
Yeah, that's true, on the old Berwick Highway.
If we play Wilson-Borough for some reason, Wilson-Borough will come here. Ross with the ball and swank all over Ross as Ross is dropped in the backfield for a loss by Randy Swank. It'll be a loss of 2 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 12.
And Central Columbia having the last few years some good seasons. Warren, they were in district playoffs the 1 year not too long ago. So
right.
you know,
we played them down here for a district in a district playoff game and beat them down here. I remember them well. In fact, it was the first game that we had this scoreboard up.
Yep.
That's how I remember them. Right up the middle now, that's DeMuro, and the fullback is loose again. It'll take Ledkavich to bring him down. And the fullback is having his way in the middle of the Mount Carmel area line right now. Pickup of 12, 13 on the play. It's 1st and 10 Bucks at the Buck 44-yard line. I'm not sure what they do there when they do it, but they get him wide open, and he starts to scamper there. We'll have to look at that at halftime. I'm sure we'll make some adjustment in there, as either that or they just happen to pick the right defense at the right time.
Well, that's what, you know, we do jump into a gap, and depending where to look, see Swanky or Brown had moved over.
Ross with the carry. Ross squirts through the line, but he'll pick up about 3. And I believe that could have been a flag. I'm not sure. It's a face mask. I think that's what.
The ball squirted out, and it's a marker to the head.
Oh, he's marking the ball down.
Marked the ball right. Marked
Okay.
it down.
All right.
There.
So where he marks it down, then it's actually 2nd down and 8, where the ball finally settles. I didn't realize it was moving around there. So Lavelle trots back in. 34, Meade runs to the sideline, so that means DeMuro will be wandering around here somewhere. And Lavelle brings him up, and he hands it right back to Ross. And Ross is buried. Woo. Who is that?
That was Cuffy, I saw.
No, that's
no, it wasn't
50.
Cuffy.
That's
from the other side.
It's Swank. That was Swank again, and Swank tattooed Ross at the line of. Oh my! You see that there?
He just came back from the opposite side. It was right down the line, the offensive line.
No gain on the play, plus a very ugly black and blue to go along with it. Swank just whacks Ross. So 3rd and 8 now for the Bucks.
You remember last week we were talking about the gappers there. You had another one, 54, Randy
Another
Swank.
one in there, huh? We hand it to Meade. And Meade is not going to get the 1st down. He crosses midfield down to the Red Tornado 48, but he's not going to make the 1st down. He's going to come up about 2 yards short, or a long.
Brown and Greco making the hit.
That was a much better spot than where he actually went down at, too. I wonder where he came up with that spot.
I think he sort of bounced 3 times before he hit to that
actually, it's going to be 3rd and. Now I would say it's probably 1 now from where they placed it. He was not down at that yard line. So 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. 4th and 1, and Ross
does not make
he didn't get it. He did not get the 1st down, folks. 79 coming off the ground down there for the Red Tornadoes, Skinner. And that's it. They turn the ball over as they cannot pick up the yard in Red Tornado territory. The Red Tornado defense just stands up and turns Ross around.
Strange offensive play to run. Their success has been coming from straight dive plays, and that was more of a play that took a little bit of time. It was more of a misdirection type play where the halfback was supposed to cut back up behind the lead blocker. But their success at this point has been coming from just straight dives.
Yeah, and the fullback, actually, the up guy is the guy that's making the yardage. And again, this is much like we saw a few years back in that rainstorm, as we stopped the tailback, and pretty much when you stop the tailback, you stop the offense. He has got Yasenchek. Oh, what a play down there at the last second by number 34, and that's Meade. And Meade's having himself a whale of a football game as Meade closed on the ball and just tips that out of Yasenchek's reach.
I'll tell you what, Dave has all the time in the world. That offensive line has given him as much time as he needs back there to look over all the receivers. And I'll tell you what, Vincey was open there until the very last second when Meade reached in. I don't know how he got there that quick.
So 2nd and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. Shinsky will go back again. He's got Pilarski, and Pilarski's going to be in trouble. But, I shouldn't say that, as Pilarski takes it down the sideline, down to the 45-yard line of the Bucks, and I thought he was stopped at our own 48-yard line.
He sort of stutter stepped a little bit.
Here you see it.
Yep.
It's the handoff to Pilarski, and he makes a quick turn right at the center of the field. Now he's going to outrun a couple of big guys, and I think right here, notice I think he's dead in the water, and then boom, he squirts right up the sideline all the way to the 45-yard line before number 15 for the Bucks finally puts him out, Cale Clark. A nice run by Pilarski. Brings up a 3rd down and 3 and flags all over the field. That may go against the Bucks, I'm not sure. Although I'm not sure what it will be.
We're all pointing that direction.
Yeah, we're pointing that direction. Well, let's see what it is. Offside on the Bucks, and that's an odd thing to have happen to you also. So offside on the Bucks. It'll bring up a 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. The ball just nudging the Buck 40-yard line.
Now you like that call, don't you?
Well, that's not the same, though.
Well, it's close enough.
No,
He's
it's
in
not.
The zone.
No, it's not. Somebody lined up
offside.
Don't you start on me. Don't you defend the PIAA to me. It won't happen. Matsura, and he's got a train in front of him as he cuts up field.
Look at this.
And he'll take it down inside the 30-yard line to the Buck 29-yard line, where he, I believe, will have the 1st down. He does.
Yes, he does. Boy, did he had a whole load of kids standing in front of him running.
You won't see it as well from this view, but you can see everybody bunching around. There's Pilarski out in front of him down there. And then he had to make a decision as he was trying to get around the last guy there. But a big 11-yard gain for Matsura, and just like that, the Red Tornadoes are bouncing around and deep in Buck territory at the Buck 29.
That was close to being a student body right, student body left.
Yeah, everybody going that way. Shinsky's going to look to pass, and he does, and he looks at
Matsura.
Wow.
No.
Wargo. He got Wargo down at 27-21.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go call that until I was sure.
I saw the 2 there, and the 7 looked like a 1, but Wargo goes down 9 yards and just makes a nice little button hook down there. Turns around, Dave hits him on the numbers.
So Lashinsky and Pilarski come out. Brown and Yasenchak into the Red Tornado lineup here as it's 2nd down and 1 at the Buck 20-yard line.
Keeper by Dave.
Keeps it, and he's got to sidestep somebody there, and he does. Oh, my goodness, and now he's tackled out of bounds.
And kills the clock.
Yeah, I thought he was tackled way out of bounds, though, to tell you the truth. But he picks up a nifty 1st down. Let's see, look at this one from behind here as he fools everybody.
And I'll tell you what, that defensive end there, number 82, is the one that made the play, because I think Dave was supposed to bootleg to the left side, and he was looking for a receiver downfield.
Sorrenti, 82. Sorrenti actually had the beat on him. He just couldn't handle him when he got to him, as Shinsky just whacked his way past him. So it's 1st and 10 now. The ball sitting down at the 18-yard line. The Red Tornadoes want a timeout, and they will get it. Great night at Supper Club last night. We had the 4 captains with us last night. We also had Ed Washuda and Doyle Dietz with us last night from some of the media. Just came by to have dinner with us, and we always appreciate that. We like to meet those guys and have them come down and meet us. You know, whether you win or you lose, the coverage goes a long way to the kids. And, you know, as far as their aspirations is college and things like that, and that's what you like to see. So we had a great supper. It was a good crowd, too. I mean, we had a big crowd down there for it. Spaghetti and meatballs. I had my share, and I also helped Phil eat some of his stuff. So Phil sits by me because he knows I always clean his plate for him whenever he can't finish up. So I did all those things, did all the right stuff down there. And I took a pizza home, too, just in case.
Did you really?
Oh, that's the kind of guy I am.
You're a good man, Warren.
Well, I told Kathleen it's for her, but then, you know, things happen.
Think she really believes that?
Well, I don't know.
Come on.
I keep telling her, I don't know. She's kind enough not to laugh anyway, so I'll give her that. All right, it's 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line of the Bucks as the Red Tornadoes line it up here. There's 1 minute and 49 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter of play. Shotgun formation for Shinsky, and he's looking downfield. He cranks it. He's got Matsura, and Matsura got the touchdown. As Matsura simply outran Mancuso, and that's the 2nd time Mancuso ran into trouble for a touchdown. And just like that, the score now, Mount Carmel area 25. Look at the replay here, and you're going to see a perfect pass. Take a look at the time he has. He sets, he pumps once, pumps twice. Here it is, coming right at you. I mean, right at you. Boom. What a play. What a replay. My goodness, that was a good replay there, folks.
Good replay by Joey Gushin.
So Whitecamp puts it up there, and it's good. The score now 26-0 Mount Carmel area here, and the Bucks are being routed here in this Eastern Conference playoff game.
It's good to see Mount Carmel back at the Silver Bowl again. Last week, we weren't quite sure, as of the end of the game against the Seals, we weren't sure if we would be playing this week, but it's good to see Mount Carmel playing again, and especially back at the Silver Bowl.
Always good to have a game here. Of course, Red Tornadoes got into the Eastern Conference on a major upset.
That was
major upsets, in fact, but the big one was Nativity.
Nativity beating Jim Thorpe.
Yeah,
Jim Thorpe was supposed to get into the district. I guess they did get into district playoffs. They were only 8-1 maybe at that time, but that was a major upset.
Well, that's poetic justice, of course. Coach Brennan coming from Nativity. I guess they keeping him in mind when they upset the Olympians. White Camp will pop it downfield, and this time in the air, high. And it's going to go to Mancuso, 14. And Mancuso is still churning around there, and he'll be brought out of bounds by number 29, Buggy. So it's 1st and 10 for the Bucks. Minute 39 remaining in the first half. And the Bucks need to do something quickly on offense, or they're in danger of being buried in this football game.
Buggy's another one who we've seen had a great defensive season this year. Just stopping offensive guys and really pulling off a great defensive performance this year.
Yes, Buggy really did. He really came. And we saw parts of him last year, but this year he really came into his own. This time it's DeMuro, the fullback, and he's still fighting in there, and DeMuro will pick up 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Bucks. And this is what I meant by the Bucks. They run, they live, and they die by the run. And right now they're dying by it, as the Red Tornadoes have bottled them up on the run. They have not passed effectively tonight. They have not passed a lot either.
No.
And they don't look like it's something they're going to start doing, although I believe with this kind of time remaining and the clock ticking that they may put it up in the air right now. And that's why I don't be a coach, as DeMuro gets loose, broke a tackle, and he's going to be wangled out of bounds there by Dallas, number 1, but he ran right through a tackle there, and I'm sure Coach Brennan will have something to say about that along the sideline. Here you see him. He'll be coming towards you. That's DeMuro coming right at you. Right there as he made a nifty little move on Wargo, and now he's live, and now you'll see as Dallas kind of
wrestles
him out of the field of play onto the sideline. So it's a 1st and 10 for the Bucks inside Red Tornado territory at the 45-yard line. And we go to Meade this time, number 34. And Brown actually is the guy that was holding on to Meade. And Swank figured he'd take a crack at him while he was going down there. It does, as Swank is having a whale of a football game here, along with Brown in the center of that defensive line.
With the way some of these guys are getting tackled out there, they might need to bring out a spatula later on and start scraping them off the field.
This is a tough-hitting football game. As the Bucks have asked and were granted a timeout on the field.
This defense, remnants of the Coach Conley defense from a couple of years back, doing a great job against the running game.
Big crowd out here, gang. A nice crowd out here for Red Tornadoes. A bit of a cold night. The second real cold night. Wyalusing was right up there in cold nights, but this one again, not uncomfortable. We've not had a really bad night for football all season. Here we are in the early November.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
pretty blessed weather-wise.
we were blessed all season long. Some excellent football weather, and and for the kids especially, it was good weather.
So Lavelle will bring them up at 2nd and 7. He has an I formation, and he's going to send number 35 in motion. But as Cuff went in motion, he pulled Cuff offside. So one Cuff to the other Cuff.
It was a mirror image.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 2 for the Bucks now, as they set the ball down at the Red Tornado 37-yard line.
I think they're doing that on purpose, Warren, just to get you fired up here.
That worked.
It was like Bizarro World and Superman, cuff and cuff.
Cuff and cuff, yeah. I'm not all that familiar with Bizarro World, but I'll believe you. Okay, we put Cuff in motion again, the exact same play. This time we're going to go. We went to Ross, and Ross said, hello, Mr. Swank, are you still in my backfield? And Mr. Swank said, yes, I'm still standing in your backfield, and I'm still tackling you. So he'll lose a yard on the play, and now bring up 3rd and 3 as Randy Swank and Mr. Ross have developed a relationship here, not a healthy one for Mr. Ross.
And of course, the Bucks call a timeout here with 43 seconds left on the clock. They're down to 1 timeout to go. And it's the only way that they're going to kill the clock unless they throw the ball, and it doesn't look like they have any intentions of doing that.
I'm going to take a minute here to thank the ladies down in the band concession area. A lot of us had water for us tonight. You noticed you had water tonight. You weren't there when that discussion went on, but they were thinking of us and got us water. It's special, in fact, for us, and I want to thank them. That was very thoughtful of them, and I appreciate that very much. We've had a great season at the band concession stand with the French fries again, as always. I have some of my best seasons at concession stand, so I want to say thank you to that group, though. They're always fun to talk with, and they do some great work and raise all kinds of money for the band.
I'll tell you what, and we go down there, and the amazing part is it's the same faces every week in and week out. They don't see the game at all.
No.
You know, they're down there plugging away.
No, they just do a job, and my hats are off to them. They're the real unsung heroes of a football game. Reverse, and we send it out there, and we're going to throw the ball downfield, and Cuff does. And actually, number 16 was the guy that he was heading to, Tim Drews. 15, and that's Cale Clark. And I thought Clark caught it for a second. So Cuff sends it downfield, but Clark can't hold on to it, and it's going to ring up a 4th down and 3. But this is a fairly nifty play, and if we see this down deep here, you'll see that he was right there. He just couldn't hold on to it as he hit the ground.
I'll tell you what, if Cuff would have, I think Cuff got a little excited when he was throwing the ball back there and didn't have a handle on it. But if he would have released that and got a good pass down there, Clark was wide open.
Okay, Lavelle, now Lavelle's going to hand it to Ross right up the middle, and Ross is going to be brought down. Gain of about a yard on the play. That's big number 51, Dave Brown. And that was it. The Bucks will once again, for the 2nd time in the first half of play, turn the ball over on downs. The Red Tornadoes take over 1st and 10 with 29 seconds remaining here in the first half of play here at the Red Tornadoes home field, the Silver Bowl.
Well, definitely the defense has taken over, and you know the Bucks are not having much success at all.
They released the inside on him. Cuff, ball's loose. I'm not sure how Cuff could have gotten that loose on the play as he hits Shinsky. And I mean, Shinsky was dead in the water. And where he could have come from without anybody seeing him, I don't know.
It appeared Shinsky ran into number 79, John Skinner, on that play.
You know, Skinner released from the line and tried to step back to block for Dave Shinsky because he's seen Cuff coming back there to make that tackle. And I think that all 3 of them got entangled.
So 21 seconds left. The Bucks take over on the fumble at the Mount Carmel area 32-yard line. Now Lavelle goes back to pass. Ooh! And that's Buggy and Cuff. And they whack Lavelle, and Lavelle loses yardage all the way back to the 43-yard line of the Bucks, an 11-yard loss.
And Swank was in the center of that also.
Oh, that was ugly there. I mean, my goodness.
Coach Brennan was saying, say hello to my 2 little defensive friends here. Brought him right back.
So the Bucks wisely let the half end on that play. They go into the locker room trailing the Red Tornadoes 26-0. We'll be back at, all right, gang, we're back here for the start of the second half of this Eastern Conference Class 2A semifinal game. Red Tornadoes in control 26-0. And let's see if the halftime stats bear that number out.
Well, I'll tell you what, you take a look at the score, 26-0. You think, you know, there would have been a lopsided yardage here. And really, when you look at it, it's you know, fairly close, except for the passing game. For the Tornadoes, we have 20 carries for 57 yards. Matsura, 5 for 36. Brown, 4 for 13. Pilarski, 4 for 9. And Lashinsky, 2 for 3. And in the passing department, Dave has thrown it, although quite a bit in the first half, which really surprised me. 7 for 14 for 151 yards. Boy, he's really, again, some big numbers there in the first half. Mansour.
What was that again? Who's that?
Again? Now, you know,
Can
I'm
you
on
read
a
it
roll
to me
here.
or not?
I'm on a roll here.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right.
God forbid you mess this thing up.
No, I said Dave Shinsky, 7 for 14. I said some big yardage again that he's thrown for, 151
Well,
yards.
that's all I asked. Jeez.
Yeah, but I was like, you know, okay, all right. I had my mindset, you know. There's
God
not much.
forbid your mind starts straying from anything. Jeez.
Okay. Matsouris, 4 for 72 yards. Pilarski, 1 for 62 yards. Great pass there. Wargo, 1 for 9. And Medalis, 1 for 8. 11 first downs for the Tornadoes. On the other side for the Dunmore Bucks, the rushing department, and they have moved the ball down the field, but just cannot get it across in fact, into the red zone. They didn't even get into the red zone yet. 22 carries for 77 yards. And this is what Warren had said at the beginning, that the passing department, 2 for 5 for only 14 yards and 5 first downs. So there you go. I'm done.
Let me give you the best advice I can give you, Joe. Don't emulate him.
Oh, yeah.
What a prima donna.
No, wait. Okay.
What a prima
Hey,
donna.
no, wait. I know you've already schooled him because he's messed up a number already tonight. It's only his second night here. Number 41,
That was a low blow, wasn't
no,
it?
Come on now. You know.
You believe he does this to you?
Ding,
you
ding,
believe
ding.
this?
Round 1 goes Dwayne.
What a creep.
I'm sorry, Warren. You're my mentor and everything, but...
Well, if I'm your mentor, don't listen to him ever. My goodness.
Hey.
Now you have the crowd turning ugly in front of us
I know.
there.
Bobby's down there. Bobby Dixon's he's gonna just, you know.
I can't work like this. I can't work under this kind of pressure.
You two ain't married, are you?
I'm not too sure about that either. I know he cooks for me a lot.
Oh, you bet.
All right, Whitecamp's ready to tee this thing off, and he will. Puts it right down the middle. It'll go to Ross at the 15. Ross brings it up, and he's still got a good head of steam in there, and he's going to be brought down by Greco, number 87, with help from Lashinsky, number 45. Bucks will take it over, 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Bucks offense will probably be coming out here with a little more enthusiasm and a little bit more hopefulness.
They better.
Try to dig themselves out of this hole that they got themselves into.
Okay, Lavelle brings him up. He's got DeMuro in front of Ross. And he gives it to DeMuro, and DeMuro goes nowhere. He's brought down immediately in there. And I got to tell you, see if I can see who gets off that pile down there. Could have been Swank.
Brown, number 51.
Swank, it was.
And Swank.
And Swank has just built a home in the backfield of the Bucks tonight. Loss of a yard on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 11, not the way the Bucks had hoped to start the second half off.
No, they didn't put themselves into that, Joe. I think the defense for the Tornado, especially the line, has really done an outstanding job tonight.
Well, it's going to be an offside on somebody. We had a whole bunch of people moving around there. Let's see who moved first, and that'll tell us who the 5 yards is going to go against. Yeah, even the refs weren't sure who was moving where. It's going to go against the Bucks, so it's going to bring up a 2nd and 16 now, and they certainly are.
Well, see, the way
a rough start.
the way that goes is who points most fingers. You know.
Yeah, that could be.
Did you see the whole interior line for the Tornadoes quickly pointed to number 87 running across there? So they won that one.
Yeah, that could be. They had no idea who moved first, as we had 4 or 5 guys moving around down there. So now Lavelle brings him up in a bigger hole than he wanted. He puts Cuff in motion, and he's going to go back to pass, and he's under pressure immediately. He goes downfield, and Leonovich just barely doesn't intercept it, as the ball caught him by surprise a little bit as it went through the hands there and got tipped.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The receiver went up in the air and tried to catch the ball and went through his hands, and Leonovich, he just did not keep his eye on it long enough and dropped the ball.
Well, that's hard. That's really hard to do it. I mean, especially when it changes a little bit from where you're looking at it at, but he was close. And again, Lavelle under all kinds of pressure. It brings up 3rd and 16 now from the 30-yard line of the Bucks. And he's going to hand it right up the middle. He went to DeMuro there. Muro's going to pick up 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 4th down, and the Bucks will be forced to punt. Number 14 trotting into the game there. I believe he's the punter, Mancuso. Brown getting off the bottom of that pile down there.
That wasn't exactly one of the smartest things to do by the Dunmore offense, 3rd and 16, and running the ball up the gut. It's just not something you see a coach.
Well, I don't think he has a lot of confidence in that passing game as the quarterback's under heavy pressure back there. And when you're deep in your own territory, I guess his thought was, let's be safe here and get the ball out of here.
Ooh, Cuffey again. All season long, he is so close.
Mancuso's punt hits down about the 41 and it starts heading the other way. So they down it at the Mount Carmel area 43-yard line where it's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the 10-11 mark here of the 3rd quarter.
Cuffey released so quick on that,
yeah.
Put a burst of speed on him. Boy, it had to be 1 or 2 inches that he was away from that punt.
So Shinsky will bring him up here. Split backfield. Goes to Pilarski. Pilarski's got some room along the Dunmore sideline. He's got more room than they would have hoped, and he's still rolling. He cuts it back. Pilarski's going to take it in, folks. Pilarski's going in for the touchdown, and he does. And there you have it. A 57-yard run by Jared Pilarski for the touchdown, and he is electric. I mean, he really is.
Yeah, he's an outstanding job, and his best thing is when he got over in front of the Dunmore bench here, he did make the corner. He got down 10 yards downfield, and he saw the whole center of the field open, and his best move was the cut.
There's the cut. Look at that
right
cut.
There. Right
Boom,
back
he makes the turn up. And he had 2 guys down there that were killing a guy. That was the only guy left. And what a great move down there. Whitecamp puts up the extra point. It's good. It's now Mount Carmel area 33, the Bucks 0 at the 9:56 mark of the 3rd quarter, and the Bucks are pretty much dead in the water, folks.
Yeah, that was it. You take a look. They can't even move the ball in the opening kickoff down the field at all to make any type of a threat. As you can see, they do not have any type of pass attack at all.
No, not much. And the quarterback's under such pressure that he's just throwing it up for grabs when he finally does throw it. So it's going to make, and I said this earlier, they weren't an offense that could come back. And we talked about even the last time we played them, that in a rainstorm like that, once you got up on them, they're basically going to just keep running the ball. And they ran it right to the end and were blank 22-0. Tonight, even having a worse time with the Red Tornado defense as they did when they had Trickolo. Whitecamp again right down the middle. And that's Ross, I believe. Yes, Ross, and he's going to try to cut it back. And he is buried down there as he makes the cut at about the 27-yard line. Leonovich coming off the pile down there. Nice tackle. So it's 1st and 10 for the Bucks down at their own 27, and they'll need to put some type of offense together now, to try to save anything in this game.
How many yards did you say that was? 56?
57-yard run for Pilarski.
So Pilarski has about 65 yards on already tonight.
Yes, he does. He needed, 113?
About 113 yards.
So, this is getting uglier. Swank, whatever Swank is doing in there, he is absolutely wrecking, single-handedly wrecking the entire Dunmore offense.
Number 63 in there. He was in the last series of downs, and I could not get his name called. As Tom Bagashinsky is in playing the right tackle position on defense.
But Swank just continually whacks the Bucks. That was a small loss. We'll still call it 2nd and 10 now as they line up. But
Eric Beaver, number 56, playing at nose guard position in Brown.
This time it goes to Ross, and Ross gets some running room in there. He's going to be brought down in there by Leonovich with some help from Yasenchak. But finally picks up some positive yardage. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3. So we take Ross out of the backfield and go with what I would call the heavy backfield here, certainly. And that's what it looks like here. And they're going to pick the 1st down up. And I'm going to see who carried it. I couldn't see who got the ball there as they have a whole bunch of different people in there. And, okay, it's 34 was the ball carry. Why it took so long. Mead, he's still on the ground. So Mead No, Mead stood up. Okay, that's a lineman. I thought it was Mead who didn't stand back up again. It's a 1st and 10 for the Bucks when they finally do this with a Buck player down on the field. And he was right in the middle of the tackle going on down there. So we'll give him some time to get looked at. We want to say a big hello to truly one of the greatest fans in the Mount Carmel area and in any sport. Of course, Mr. B, Coach Breslin. There's conflicting reports of what happened with Coach Breslin, although the most reliable one is that Jose challenged him to go out and tackle a car at Oak Street, and apparently he did. Now, we have no reports on damage to the car, but Coach Breslin kind of walked away from it, but it was apparently taken back into the hospital today, so I wish him the best of luck, and I want to say hello to him as DeMuro is stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10, but of course, Coach B, 93,
94,
somewhere in there, years old and still going strong. And we see him at every football game, you and I, and Jose at the same exact time under the stands. We meet and talk with him down there before we come up here. So I know he'll be watching the game, and I just want to say hello, and I wish him best of luck because I'm sure he's a tough guy. He's not going to let that get him down. This time the ball carrier is number 34, and that's Mead. And Mead kind of bulls his way up there for 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
Mike Lashinsky making the initial hit there right at the line of scrimmage. Coming in from I think Mike's playing in now in the linebacker position there.
Mead's a tough player. I like him back there. He's the hardest runner of the whole group back there right now. Yep. Definitely, he runs harder than DeMuro or Ross at the moment. And Ross is out of the backfield. In fact, they moved Ross back to split and where he originally was at the start of the season now. And they go with Ross on a turnaround, and Swank had his hands on him, but he got around him, and now he's got a full head of steam. And he'll be taken out of bounds by Medalis and Buggy, but not before he takes it inside Mount Carmel territory down right at the 46-yard line or so of Big Red, where it's 1st and 10 for the Bucks, and that's one of the better runs of the night for Ross.
Yeah, it sort of looked like it was a misdirection play, and it looks like it's a sort of a reverse play. It is coming back off the quarterback, though, so I don't know if you really want to call it a reverse type play. But once he made the corner, though, he did show a little bit of speed that he has.
Okay, we go right up the middle there. That's DeMuro, and he's loose again. And that's been the real bread and butter play for the Bucks all evening, as he'll pick up another 1st down all the way down to the Red Tornado 30-yard line. Now let's see, they push it back up to the 31-yard line. But it's still 1st and 10, and the Bucks now probably in their deepest penetration of the evening.
Yeah,
Brown they take some guys in and out of there now.
Yeah, they're moving Brown and Bierster back into the nose guard in that tackle position.
Tighten up their defense. Try to prevent some more.
Lavelle back to pass, and he does. He's complete down there. Pass for about 5 yards actually on the play. He found number 15. Cale Clark, and here you'll see the replay as very quick pass, and that's how they're going to counter that unbelievable pressure. He got up high on Leonovich and picked up a 5 yards on the play, but that's the only way they can pass is that 2-step drop and throw.
Actually, he ran down 5 yards and ran straight into Leonovich.
Yeah.
That's what he did, and then just turned around.
So there's an offside there on the play. We had a couple of guys moving, I believe, on the Bucks.
I think when the ref threw that flag down there, I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing things. I think the one flag had your name on it.
You think?
Yeah.
You can see that from up here?
I've been known to have some pretty good vision.
Well, it's against the Red Tornado, so much for that now, isn't it? All right, so that's a 5-yard penalty, and that'll bring it up to 1st and 10. The Bucks now at the Red Tornado 21-yard line, their deepest threat of the evening here in the Silver Bowl, as Lavelle brings them up at the 5:47 mark of the 3rd period. Puts Ross in motion, who kind of fakes it there. We go right to DeMuro, and DeMuro is going to be hauled down there by number 45, Lashinsky. DeMuro's going to pick up about 4 yards in the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Mount Carmel defense seems to be laying back a little bit. They can afford to give up 1 or even 2 touchdowns here, being up by 33 points.
I'm sure that's not what they're thinking, though. They're dearly love just to shut them out here tonight. So we take Ross out of the ball game. Lavelle trots in with the play. He's going to have Meade in that backfield now, along with DeMuro. Meade the tailback. 2nd and 6. And he goes to Meade, and Meade runs right into Yasenchak.
Number 34 on the carry, Corey Meade, but in there by Vince Yasenchak.
So he'll pick up, I say he picks up 5 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
The success on their offense here is, and they are basically just a straight dive play. That's all they are running, and it is so quick that any type of a seam or a hole into that defensive line, they're going to pick up a few yards.
Brings Clark in motion again, and this time to Meade, and Meade's going to pick up the 1st down. He's now inside the 10-yard line at the 9. It'll be 1st and goal for the Dunmore Bucks from the Mount Carmel area 9-yard line. And this has been a fairly steady drive by the Bucks here. 4:14 and counting here in the 3rd quarter of play. Again, he goes to Meade. And Meade picks up 3 yards on the play, down to the 6.
6?
Down to the 6-yard line. Coming off the bottom of that pile is Swank. I'm sorry, Brown. 51. Brown comes up there.
The Bucks are on quite an offensive rally up the field here today.
That they are.
Hey, take a look at the defense. We're bringing everybody in. We're only leaving Medalis back, but we're bringing pretty much everybody up to the line of scrimmage.
Clark in motion again. Medalis follows him, but we go to Meade. And Meade now down to about the 1-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1. As Meade really brought a spark into this Dunmore offense.
Certainly not. We did not see his name at all. Everybody we talked about was Ross because of the yardage that he had put up during the season. But I'll tell you what, Meade is the man tonight for the Dunmore Bucks.
And he's hot and he's staying in there. And now they're going to line up Cuff in a full house backfield back there. And they go right to Meade again. And Meade's going to get him. He didn't get in.
No, he
did not get in. He got close. It's now
Lashinsky, I'm trying to say, it looks like Ben Hynoski. He tried to come back over to center and Leonovich, but he tried to, after the initial hit, if you take a look here, he tries to come back to his left, and those 3 guys just stood him up and did not let him get any closer to that goal line.
So now it's 4th down and a half a yard, 4th and goal. Well, 4th and a yard now, where they set it down, he set it back at the 1-yard line. So 4th and 1 now. For the Dunmore Bucks, they go into the I formation with Meade as the tailback. They put Clark in motion again, which means they normally go that direction, and they do. Well, he did not get in. Meade did not get over the goal line for the 3rd time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Red Tornado defense has stood up on a 4th and 1, and this one was 4th and 1 from the goal line.
Brown was the one.
Unbelievable.
Brown did the job right in the center of the line. He did exactly what he needed to do, and that was to block all the lead blockers and just make a mess of that hole. And what was great about it, then you had Yasenchak and everybody else coming up to lend a hand.
Oh, that is amazing.
Seeing that play happen right there kind of took me back to Kemp Memorial Stadium last year when we played against Lakeland.
Right, exactly. Same play. You're right. Same kind of play. That's got to demoralize the Bucks. My goodness, they get down inside the 1 and they can't put it over. The big, almost. Senchak was at the 10. Again, Ruddy all over him. Ruddy's played a good ball game, especially when the tight end comes out of that backfield and he breaks up the pass. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Red Tornadoes from inside their own 1-yard line. But there you see Ruddy, just a perfect play by Ruddy as he got his hand up there in the middle of that pass and broke it up. So we'll put Brown in there and bring Lashinsky out. Brown probably try to bulldoze some yardage away from that goal line at least. But what a tough play for the Bucks. 3rd time in the game that they're stopped on a 4th down play. And this time it is Brown, and Brown takes it over the 10, and he takes it up for a 1st down. And oh my goodness, the 2 guys that tackled him, Clark and Gilroy are going to remember the tackle as he just bulled his way into them.
Would not want to be on the receiving end of that hit.
And they set the ball down. I'm not sure how they set the ball right there. I'm not sure how that got there. Clearly he was over the 10 when he ended it up, but it's going to be third down and less than 1. Third down in inches, in fact, for the first down as Buggy comes in. I'm not sure what we're doing here. Wargo's out. And we're going to be very close here if we don't get a play called here. It's third and less than 1 for Shinsky. He better bring him up and just snap this thing because he's getting close. He gets the ball off, and it's Pilarski, and Pilarski now to the outside. And Pilarski will pick the first down up as he doesn't see anything in the middle. He goes out to the 15-yard line. Great run by Pilarski, 5 yards, but an important 5 for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, he did. The power went left. And Pilarski seeing that there was no movement on that side of the line at all, and just breaks it to the right side and picks up enough for the first down.
Cuff actually saved the touchdown.
Yeah, you're right.
Inside of a minute now in the third quarter of play as the Red Tornadoes line it up. This will be the last play of the third quarter.
Ooh, that's a little tough.
So we're going to have a penalty, so I'm wrong. It's not the last play because we're going to line up again one more time here. And I'm not sure who they're calling against. It's going to go against Big Red. Illegal motion against the Red Tornadoes. Will take it back to the 10-yard line. It'll make it 1st and 15 now with 34 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Better a first down situation than a second down or third down situation, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Had a lot of first down penalties tonight. We pitch it to Pilarski. He's got some room there, and he just, oh my goodness, what a run. Boy, how do you cut just at the end of the field there? Number 35, finally Cuff for the Bucks, bring him down, but nice carry by Pilarski.
Pilarski deserves freaking flyer miles for that play.
Absolutely, that's
he just took off.
7-yard gain. So it's going to be second down now and 7 for the Red Tornadoes. Shinsky trots in there. There's 8 seconds left now. We got 2 plays out of that couple of seconds that were left there. Right up the middle, and it's Lashinsky. Lashinsky takes it over the 20-yard line, up to the 21-yard line. This should bring up a third down about 4 for the Red Tornadoes, and that finally is the end of the third quarter of play. With the score, Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes 33, the Dunmore Bucks 0. We're getting ready to start this third quarter.
Fourth
quarter. That's what you get for interrupting me in the middle of a thing when I'm rolling here. Fourth quarter. Let's not do 2 more. Let's do 1 more. So we're going to start this fourth quarter. The Red Tornadoes have the ball, third down and 4 on their own 21-yard line.
I wouldn't want to see what happened if we ran 1 more quarter.
Mr. Dallas in motion. He drops back to pass, and he's got Wargo. Wargo's free all the way out to the Mount Carmel area 38-yard line where it's 1st and 10. Red Tornadoes.
Great pattern by Wargo going down 10 yards, hooking out to the outside. Dave Shinsky, a little bit of pressure, but all he did was stepped into the pocket a little bit further and threw a nice pass.
Wargo, once again, one of the younger guys on the team, having another great season.
Yes, we look forward to seeing him next year. Wargo, Leonovich, those guys are going to be some players next year. Pilarski, nice fake inside as Pilarski's going to try to get outside. He's going to have a tough time on this one, but he's
still going.
Nice run. I mean, he made a couple of yards in the play, but that shows you how tough the kid is. Takes it up to the, see where he stepped out. He's on the far side of the field.
Looks like 40-yard line.
Look at here. He's got 2 guys who pretty much have him nailed here.
And look at 14, grabs him there by the shoulder pads, 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And he's still, look at him, still churning there.
A situation like that, you got to kick on the afterburners.
So 40-yard line, he picks up 2 of the toughest yards of the night, but 2 great yards to see a kid play like that. And Pilarski really has played like that all season. Shotgun formation for Shinsky. all kinds of time here, and he looks downfield, and he's got Medalis, and Medalis down inside Buck territory at the Buck 38-yard line, 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes, and that was a pretty pass, Here you see it coming right at you as Shinsky's in shotgun. Look at the time he has, Joe. I mean, you can just look around, waiting to see who he's looking for.
Lyman did a great job blocking that time. You see number 71, Marshall Merarkey, right there doing a great job holding his defender back.
Got right between Mancuso and Clark. And nifty little pass play for the first down. The Red Tornadoes back in Buck territory again tonight. Borgo in motion. And we're going to go to, who is that, Kovaleski?
Kovaleski, number 30.
So Kovaleski takes it out to the 36-yard line or so.
Yeah, in the last defensive stand, Warren, Vincey Yasenchak set the career tackle mark. Remember, if Jose was telling us and trying to prompt us at the beginning of the game there.
Right.
And I think at that point he needed 14 tackles. And,
yes.
he did a very good job again tonight.
Well, Vince Yasenchak has been an outstanding football player for Mount Carmel area during his career. We have seen what he does on the field, but I'll tell you what, you will not meet a nicer guy. Just not meet a nicer guy than he is. Leshinsky takes it down to the 35-yard line, and will bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Red Tornadoes. But again, back to Vince, just an all-around great kid. I mean, you can have fun with him.
Yeah.
He's just a nice guy, and you'd love to see him be the guy that breaks the record. And I hats off to him. He's just one tough player, has been in his whole career here, and just has a bright future. Guys like him, with his personality and the intelligence and the way he handles himself, just a bright future coming ahead of him. We have a Buck player down on the field. You'll give me a chance here to talk about some of the unsung heroes up here, as I always like to do. Tonight, of course, on the cable grips is Scott Bullock and Jesse McPhee. On cameras, we have Dave Else, Sophia Andriano, Joe Gushin, Paul Frouts, and Amy Hampton. The director, of course, is Krista Petroskevich. And we have a big hello today from Jorge Perez. Those of you remember him. Remember Jorge?
Yep.
Wayne?
Yes, I do.
Jorge says hello to everyone from Monterrey, Mexico. He misses MCA football and, of course, WKMC TV. And we have one guy missing in what is now a spate of wisdom tooth problems with the crew. This time, Josh Yeager has decided to have his wisdom teeth taken out. I guess after we saw how badly it went for Paul Frouts, he thought, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. So we have our second wisdom tooth extraction going on here in the studio. Wish him the best of luck, and I know he'll be back, but not before he endures the same pain all of us did when they had their wisdom teeth taken out.
I'm hoping with some of the brains that I have, my wisdom teeth ain't going to be coming up anytime soon.
That's a positive way to think about that, I guess. All right, 3rd and 7 for the Red Tornadoes. Shinsky's back to pass. Looks downfield. He's got Yasenchak. What a catch by Yasenchak. And there you see that he might lead everybody in tackles, but he's also one heck of an offensive player.
Yeah, he had to come back for that one, and I'll tell you what, not a very easy pass. Look at the bullet that Dave throws, and Vince
what a
comes
catch.
back.
Look at that catch. Yep. He lays it out there. Down inside the 20-yard line now are the Red Tornadoes. It's 1st and 10, but again, that just shows you what kind of athlete Vince is, and a bullet pass by Shinsky. Pilarski goes around the end. He's got some room there.
He's got the hole.
And he's going to go out of bounds right at the 1-yard line.
He gets right back up after that.
That was Meade on the tackle. Meade's had a whale of a football game, but not before Pilarski goes down to the 2-yard line, 1-yard line. I'm sorry, he's at the 1 where they're standing at. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 1 on the carry, on the 19-yard carry by Pilarski, and he's piling the yardage up again here tonight, Wayne.
I'll tell you, you can see how hard he's running. He's getting to that outside, and as soon as he gets out to the outside, he's just letting it all go.
Right up the middle, and I'm trying to see if he's in or not. Brown, I'm sure he is. I can't see where he's at, though. I mean, if the guy's standing on the goal line, so, I mean,
yep.
Where's he putting it?
He's putting it on the 6-inch line.
Well, it's actually, it's almost.
I don't know how he didn't get
touching the goal line. I don't know how you could do that.
Nope.
All right, it's going to be 2nd down and 1 inch for the touchdown, less than an inch. As Buggy brings it in, Yasenchak comes out. That's as close as I've ever seen the ball to the goal line without being a touchdown. I'm surprised at that. So we'll see who gets it on this one, and it's Brown.
Brown again.
And this time he makes no mistakes about getting in as he's in. Not to say that it was a mistake the last time. I thought he was in then, but he leaves nothing to chance as he pounds it in, and now the score, Mount Carmel area 39, the Dunmore Bucks 0 with Whitecamp in to attempt the extra point at the 8:21 mark here of the fourth quarter of play, and the Red Tornadoes have pretty much pulverized the Dunmore Bucks tonight. It's good. The score now 40-0 for the Red Tornadoes, and I believe that will also invoke the mercy rule. Did we use the mercy rule in a playoff game, Wayne? I think we do.
I think in all games.
So the mercy rule now in effect here. The clock will stop only under extraordinary circumstances. Even before I got my play into them, I can't believe this again. I can't believe this.
They're doing it on purpose.
As soon as they heard I had my play ready, they decided to leave.
See some great Mount Carmel fans down there.
Everybody's here having a good time tonight. It is a big game. And again, a long time since we were in the Eastern Conference.
95.
We beat Wilkes. They were the Grenadiers, remember?
I'm trying to think.
Are they Myers? Were they the Grenadiers? They had that real good tailback that came here, remember? GAR, yeah, GAR. Thank you. Out of the truck comes GAR from Krista. Thank you, Krista. That's what a good producer does.
You're darn right.
Helps me out when I'm, slabbering here.
I just want to quote Warren here real quick. I think for all intents and purposes, this game is just about over.
Oh, I'm liking you more
I'm
and more.
sure swell his head up more than what it is.
I like you more and more. Stop out of there. Stop is by Lashinsky. Cuff on the carry. Buggy also down there to help out. And number 26, and that's my main man, Kraniak, the main man on the kickoff coverage team. He had himself a great season too, you know what? I like him. You see him always by the ball in there, big number 26.
It's always great, and we've seen that with Matsur. Had an outstanding year on specialty teams, and like all of a sudden these kids start moving up onto the first team, and you can see the experience coming up.
Got nailed on the line of scrimmage.
That was ugly. That was Ross.
There's Yasenchak coming off Vinci. What a great
career. We'll see him next week one more time, but what a fabulous career for Vince. We'll not be able to say enough about him. A leader, a fun kid, a mentor to some of these guys, really showed them the ropes. Just an indispensable kind of individual on a football team. Ross again, and Ross is going to try to get outside, and he does, but number 32 down there for the Red Tornadoes, Ben Hajnowski, forces him out of bounds.
Number 47, Matt Kufta, also in on the tackle. We have number 58 playing the left defensive end position, Steve Polifka.
So we're going to see Kraniak win to the ball game now as Vince trots off, and I'm assuming that's the last time we'll see the big man tonight.
Yeah. 35, Robbie Shivelhood in playing the corner position.
Lavelle brings him up. This one's going to go to Demura right up the middle, and Demura is going to get dragged down in there by Lashinsky. Takes the ball up to the 49-yard line of the Bucks, where it's going to be second down and about 5.
Number 77, Joe Tom Cabbage goes in.
Number 67.
Jason Dillo, 67 in there?
Yep, Jason Dillo's in playing the nose guard position.
What's great about this Mount Carmel team is a lot of these faces you see tonight and you've seen all season are coming back next year.
Ross with the ball. He's tackled in there by Lashinsky as Ross got some steam moving in the Red Tornado territory down at the Red Tornado 36-yard line. 6 minutes and 3 seconds remaining here in the football game as the Bucks are driving.
Playing the other tackle position is number 61, Jared Owens.
So Lavelle brings him up with a first down. He's got Dunmore and Ross in the backfield. This one goes to Ross. Nice tackle in there by number 47 for the Red Tornadoes.
Matt Kufta.
That was a great tackle. That's exactly what you want him to do. Picks up only 2 yards on the play, brings up 2nd down and 8 for the Bucks.
It's pretty weird being up here from my point of view. Seeing a lot of these kids coming up here playing in a red and white jersey. I remember when they were playing in the Goldmont Cougars, Mount Carmel Jets.
Yeah, Dunmore right up the middle. He's still chugging along down there. Down to the Mount Carmel area 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bucks. And let me tell you, Joe, many people have said it's pretty weird up here. Believe me, I'm going to agree with you. It's weird up here for all kinds of reasons.
Even when the two of us are alone, it's weird up here.
It just gets weirder and weirder, in fact.
Number 66, John Novak in the game.
75, John Aramic.
Red Tornadoes got to get off the field here as the Bucks are up and running here. The Bucks want to put something on the scoreboard before the end of this game. Number 35 with the carry for the Bucks, that's Cuff.
Number 85, Tyler Geary, playing the right defensive end position.
It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7 for the Dunmore Bucks. 4:25 remaining now in the ball game.
See number 75 out there, John Aramic. He's a pretty big guy. He still has another year to go in the team. He has a pretty bright future.
Number 50, Jerry Lepotsky.
Pavel tosses it to Ross. He's going to try to get around the side, or he does. Got a nice head of steam on him, and he'll take it in, and the Bucks are finally on the scoreboard at the 4:02 mark of the 4th quarter. It is now Mount Carmel area 40, the Bucks of Dunmore 6. So number 17 in the ball game for the Bucks, and that's Chris Phillips. He'll attempt the extra point.
Looking over in the Dunmore stands, I think that's the first thing of movement I've seen out of them all night.
It's true, they're all like mummies over there. So Phillips puts it up and it's good. Score now 40-7. Mount Carmel area at the 4:02 mark of the football game. And we'll line up here, the Red Tornadoes, to accept the kickoff.
I think it's good that they started moving, though. They would have stayed sitting any longer. Or got frostbite.
Somewhat nervous that our guys are at the wrong, or somewhere at the wrong yard marker there as we get ourselves straightened out here. This is always the worst time of the football game. A lot of replacements into the game, a lot of different guys, and not all of them are used to being where they're supposed to be on kickoffs and things, you know what I mean? And that, if you're a coach, it's like a Chinese fire drill going on in every play now, making sure everybody's where they need to be. Some guys were sitting on the bench already. You know, they're pretty much done for the night. Now they step back in. So Pilarski's in the middle down there. He's flanked by Wargo and Litkavich as Phillips. Maybe not Phillips. I thought Phillips with all the kickoffs, but no, it looks like it's number 5, Matthew Foley, for the Bucks will kick. I didn't see him before this, but he looks like he will indeed kick off instead of Phillips, so we'll see how he does. On the ground down there to Wargo, who picks it up. Wargo's following Pilarski there, and he follows him up to about the 30-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. And we'll see who comes in to that Tornado lineup.
Number 70, Sean Paul is in. 72, Jesse Vogler. Number 82, Brian Polifka in.
Litkavich is playing quarterback, though, right?
Yes,
he's lining up the quarterback here.
Yep.
It is Litkavich. Yep. So number 2, Drew Litkavich, the freshman, will come in and play quarterback for the Red Tornadoes. The Bucks have called an unexpected timeout at 3:45, and I'm guessing he's also trying to get some different kids in the game, is what I'm thinking he's doing there.
Get him some good experience. It's always good for you.
Jack Hensey's a longtime coach and a great all-around guy, a gentleman. So I'm guessing that's what he's doing. He's trying to put some kids in the ball game, and it's taking a little time to get everybody lined up for his group, too. Tough game for Jack and his group tonight. Just never generated an offense. Mount Carmel area's defense completely smothering the Buck offense. And again, a fairly one-dimensional offense in that they were not a threat to pass. Whatever passing they did had to come out of that quick 1-2 step drop, because anything more than that, and pretty much Lavelle was under intensive pressure. So first time we see Litkevich at quarterback here in the game. He takes the snap. He hands it off to the up back, the fullback.
Kraniak, is that 26?
Trying to see who gets off there. It is Kraniak. I was trying to see who took it there. Kraniak takes it up for a gain of about, let's see where they place him at here. 3 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 now for the Red Tornadoes.
Pay close attention to these kids. This is our future.
Kovaleski now. Kovaleski takes it up to about the 39-yard line. Very close. Just short of the first down at the Red Tornado 39-yard line, where it's 3rd and 1 now.
Doing some quick jive moves up that hole. He made it.
Brian Plifkin in the lineup for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, 65, Bob Wills.
So Litkevich lines him up here. And he's going to keep it. Ooh, that's a nice quarterback sneak. And he's still on his feet. And Litkevich was loose now on a quarterback sneak all the way into Dunmore Buck territory, down to the Buck 31. And you don't see very many quarterback sneaks on 3rd and 1 go for that kind of yardage. But as the Bucks get a little full there, as Jack, to his defense, Hensley's is playing all different players. They have an entire new defensive group inside that line there. In fact, they have a new defensive group everywhere. They're all different now. The same as the Red Tornadoes have also put a different offensive group on the field here at the 2:20 mark of the 4th quarter. And we go right to Kraniak. I'm sorry, not Kraniak. It is Kraniak. You guys help me a little bit here?
No, easy.
What, you guys go home or what?
Jeez, you question yourself 14 times there.
Kraniak on the play. He takes the ball down. Let's see where he finally placed the ball at. And inside the 29-yard line, it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7 for the Red Tornadoes, as the entire rest of the crew has taken the night off.
You were right. You were exactly right the 4 times you called Kraniak on that play.
Goodness. Keeper by Litkevich. You got to like that keeper, because it's going for big yardage right now, as Drew is enjoying himself on a quarterback sneak play. And he takes the ball down to the 24-yard line. He needs to get down to the 22. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2.
Now, number 66, the center in there, has to do the blocking for him. That's John Novak, and doing a very good job of it on the nose guard for the defense for the Bucks.
I don't know what we got going here. This is going to be a problem. I knew it. I knew we were going to have a problem here.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time tonight, there's not an offside. We're calling that yellow flag.
No, he had it in. Couldn't get the substitution in quick enough is what happened. As soon as he started off, he was in trouble, and that probably wasn't his fault. He just got told to go in a little bit late there. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7 now on the 5-yard penalty.
Do it again.
Let's do it again here.
One more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the 2nd time tonight, that there is no offside call by the yellow flag.
All right.
Coach is trying to get number 60 in there.
He's doing his best.
And you know what? In defense of number 60, Coach pushed him out on the field.
All right, Litkevich will hand it off to Kovaleski. Mark's still churning. The ball's loose, and the Bucks will take over possession as number 3, James Hart, a sophomore defensive back for the Dunmore Bucks, recovers the fumble at the 30. Well, he carries it up to the 31-yard line, where the Bucks take over. 1st and 10.
1st and 10, 26 seconds left. And as soon as the chains are put in, the clock will start.
The hardest part of this night, is the water bath that Coach Brennan just took. Ooh, that's ugly, folks.
That are going after Coach Wynn. See Merarkey and Skinner. It's got to be cold.
Yeah, it's got to be ugly cold. I don't want to be him right now. All right, it's the last play of the game here. That's number 29 chugging along down there, Mike Gardier. And Mike takes it down in front of his own goal, or his own sideline now, up to the 45-yard line. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the football game. The Red Tornadoes have beaten the Dunmore Bucks 40-7 in a semifinal Eastern Conference Class 2A ball game. You will know by the time you watch this show, of course, what's happening, whether Central or Wilson Borough have won the game again.
And at this point in the game, it's tied 21-21, so I'm sure they're going to go into overtime.
So stay tuned for that. Of course, tomorrow night will be Supper Club at Matucci's. Come on down. It will be the final Supper Club of the year as we prepare for an Eastern Conference final and the championship. So get down to the Supper Club on Thursday tomorrow night. Be there about 6:15 tops, and we'll get that thing rolling. It's been a great game for the Red Tornadoes. I think if we had one worry there, I saw Matsura did not finish the game. He was limping a little bit. They had taken him out early. Hopefully that's not anything serious, although he does look as though he's moving around pretty good.
And the other thing is also congratulations to Vince Senchek on setting a career tackle record. And again, as you had stated in that fourth quarter, just one heck of a kid. He deserves it.
Yes.
He's had a great career and worked very hard at it. And as nice as he is off the field, that's how tough he plays this football game. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. For as nice as he is on the field, that's how tough he is on.
Yep.
Just a good kid. A record that, when you think about it, think about who those kids out there that held that record. He beat Sinkovich's record, is who the guy that actually the record fell from. But we've had some outstanding defensive players out here in our years at Mount Carmel area, and now Vince is #1 in tackles. So just an outstanding performance by that young man, and a great family. Big Supper Club people never. I mean, I can't imagine going to Supper Club without those guys if they're not there next year. Just a great group of people. His sister always there, Heather. I'm not always sure that he enjoyed that because I think Heather had a few needles here and there, but she never misses. And that's what makes great kids or great families, and that's exactly where that all came from. So
it's a great tradition. That's what this whole program is all about. It's all family.